Hi, my name is Marla Matthews. Welcome to the Relationship Journey. So glad you can be with us today. I'm going to be having a show where we're going to be discussing with two lovely gentlemen. They're both in their 40s or 45 plus, single males that have been divorced. I want to discuss the topic of intimacy. And if you break the word down, intimacy, into me you see. And just imagine if you could go through life with a partner, whether it's marriage or in any kind of relationship where you can just be totally vulnerable and emotionally naked, so to speak, that whatever you do or say, the good, bad, and the ugly, your partner is still going to be there for you and support you and love you. The work I do these days, I'm speaking throughout Long Island in several different libraries. I do single support groups for divorced and widowed adults over 45. And it appears that now, you would think as we get older, we would have learned from the pain and the loss of relationships. So it appears that relationships are even more problematic than they were when we were younger. So I hope that this discussion will enlighten you and will give you some more food for thought about love and intimacy and emotional availability. I want to introduce Chris DiMaggio here. He is a TV talk show host and sex educator as well, and a divorce mediator. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine.
And Gary Jacobs, just your dynamic businessman and also a divorced male, 40-something. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Great. Let me open with this question to you. What is intimacy, and what is it for specifically for a male? Either one of you could answer first. And how does that play into your life? How important is it?
I'd be willing to bet that the intimacy is probably the same thought a man would have about a relationship as a woman would have, but there are differences.
Okay, Gary?
I don't know if I really know what intimacy means. I also think it changes, my idea of intimacy, when I'm in my 20s and now that I'm in my 40s. But I think it's just having somebody that you can share your life with and your relationship and, again, be comfortable, and any of the noises that come out of your body, you don't have to worry about it. But really just being comfortable. I mean, I don't say it on TV, but, I want to be able to fart if I want to fart. I don't want to hold it in anymore. So I don't know if that's not intimate.
This is a very intimate show.
We're talking
very real.
But I just want to be comfortable with that person and get to the point where you're not trying to get that person and win them over. You've already got that person, and you can just be comfortable and be yourself. I mean, I'm sort of immature. I like to just have fun and not have to act like I'm more mature.
The extended version of what you said would be.
Good night, everybody.
I got done with that. It was good.
Yeah, I wonder if we just got the people to stay with this show or tune out.
I think an extended version of what he said, if I could put a little piece to that, is that we will no longer fear a reprisal from things that we say and things that we do.
That was better stated than me, but
we don't have to be Barbies and Kens. Right. We grew up in a culture with so much perfection and focus on physical. So as we age now, these are also issues that play into relationship health issues, physical limitations. So tell me, okay, so you're both single. I know, Gary, you're in a relationship, but just the mindset of what initially attracts you to a woman. I mean, we all know physical is the number one. Is it true? Visual?
For us, for men, it's a little different than it is for women. I think we still do and still are attracted to the opposite sex in a way that's very specific to us, but it is a physical thing for us first.
So number one, you have to be attracted physically. Doesn't matter if she's intelligent or she has integrity.
Depends on whether I want a friend or I want to be in a deeper relationship with somebody. If I want just a friend, it won't matter that much what she looks like. A relationship, I'm going to look for the physicality first. That's just me. I mean, I think it's most men.
I would say definitely. I mean, that's the first thing you see. You see, people all the time, and it needs to be something that brings you in. For me, a nice smile, is, to me, that's important because it shows that they're happy and they're fun. I mean, the facial expressions say a lot. I like, just looking into a person's eyes, and I want a happy look to the person. But of course, there may be somebody who you're not as attracted to, and as you get to know them, that personality makes them look more attractive. But yeah, of course, I mean, look, right now, I never did online dating, but I have looked at them and I said, wow, that's pretty neat. You just like shopping for physical attributes to pick
That's all
somebody.
you really have to go
I can
on.
see how that doesn't work, to tell you the truth.
Doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work.
But, you know, so
Okay,
yeah, to me it's
we've
physical, I would
established,
say.
see, men fall in love with their eyes, women fall in love with their ears.
Absolutely.
For women, especially as
Thank
we
God.
age, it becomes more about emotional security. Yeah, we do want to be attracted, a shower every once in a while, brush their teeth, good hygiene. You know, that's like a given, but you'd be surprised how that even wanes as people age and going through depression and loss. People just stop caring about how they look.
It's interesting about the age factor. As I've gone on in my years, my want and desire to be in a relationship has molded itself a little bit to a different characteristic than I would have thought of, say, 20 years ago. So, you know, it does change a little bit. And I think that's what you were trying to bring out about it being more difficult as you get older. I find that it's a little bit more specific. I'm a little bit more ready to separate the riff from the raff, or get away from having to identify something that's absolute in my life. So I can choose a little bit better and a little bit more discerning.
So you broaden your horizons.
I broaden my horizons to let somebody in the door, but when it comes to a relationship, I'm discerning differences faster. I'm able to say, I don't want that kind of person in my life.
So the looks aren't keeping you in as long as they did when you were
first,
younger.
I can't get to that far until I know whether someone's going to be in a relationship with me. If I think it's close, then the looks of that person become more and more important.
How do you discern, Chris?
Well, by the type of person that they are altogether, besides their looks. I am looking at everything, but the looks are what first attracted me. What secondarily attracts me, all the other important things about a person.
Would you wait a long time to become sexual with a woman that you like?
Not particularly.
No. How long would you wait?
I don't have a time frame. It depends on the relationship and how it's going.
How about you?
Well, you know, in fact, in my relationship that I'm in now, I did wait a long time. That wasn't my choice, by the way, you know, the waiting. But of course, you know, we're guys. I mean, you know, give me three dates. Well, I felt there was...
It wasn't his choice.
Exactly.
Right,
But I didn't have to, but it was my choice to stick around.
Right.
You know,
for
well,
this
I
particular
think, you know
woman.
what, you know, my marriage, you know, fell apart and I was divorced. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll try. To me, the idea of that, when somebody, you're going to have a long-term relationship, if you have sex with them early, you say, you know, how many people have they done this with? So,
that's interesting.
so to me, I look, if she's making me wait a long time, then I know that she's made other people, you know,
so
and actually,
safer with her.
Right. So I think that, yeah, so for me, it was okay waiting with her. I mean, I waited with my current girlfriend, who I've been with for, I guess, 8 or 9 years now. I waited longer with her than I did with any of my other relationships, and it's almost lasted longer than any of my other relationships.
Okay. Now, you and I have worked together for a long time working with families in transition. You know, a company that supports the divorce mediation as opposed to litigating in the court system. We've had many different discussions about chemistry. But if you were just to meet a woman from Pluto, you know, there's the whole Mars and Venus, so let's take it to Pluto. We're on Pluto now. I am a woman from Pluto. To explain chemistry. What is it? What's going to happen in the connection between you and a woman, and what should a woman know about chemistry and how to choose a man?
I'm not sure I'm the right, believe it or not, although I feel like I'm more qualified than most people to talk about this subject, the more I identify.
The older you get, the less we know.
I think it's a very moment-to-moment type of thought process I go through, because there are some people that I've looked at for a while and didn't quite get why I was attracted to them, but after a while they become attracted to me.
Oh, you see couples and you wonder what it is about them, you know, the chemistry between them. But
I don't wonder so much about other couples, but I mean a person that I'm interested in from my own perspective, I am a little bit more flexible about what attracts me to them after a while.
Sometimes it's so unknown. You know, you could meet very attractive people, I think even for men too, physically, but yet there's no chemistry.
Well, to me, the chemistry is, at this point in my life, first of all, chemistry is probably not as important when I was in my 20s than it is now. But to me, it's enjoying the same things together. You know, I like country music. I want somebody who likes country music. I like animals and I like nature. You know, and I'm a family person. So to me, those things are important. To me, that's the chemistry is saying, hey, do you want to go? Even liking the same type of movie. You know, say, well, let's go to the movies. I don't want to sit through a crappy movie that I don't like over and over. I mean, I would do it for the person, but it's nice to not have to, because you have the same wants. And to me, that's what the chemistry the chemistry is.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to define. Give me some
Yeah,
red
you got that
flags
right.
about. Well, you're not dating now, but what would be some red flags that you would give advice to people that you've had in your life prior, and and you didn't pay attention to?
I like the standard bearer. I know what you mean. The standard bearer of a friendship first would be the best advice I could give anybody. If you can acquire somebody to know them well enough to have them as a friend, then you're one step ahead of everyone else.
Right. Well, that's where the physical intimacy, to delay that would make sense, because don't you think that gives you rose-colored glasses?
But now you're talking practical. Yes, but you're right. Practically, yes, but that's
but also, how much time? Life's too short. As we start to get older, too, you say, you know what? I mean, life's too short to. I mean, what are you gonna wait
Use
6?
it so you don't
what? I know
lose
you
it?
10 minutes and we haven't been to bed yet. I don't know.
To wait, 6 months or a year's a long time.
But then we have contradictions, and how are you going to get to know the person as a friend? You think you could do that? See, for a woman, that's more difficult. Once a woman becomes physical with a man, it's much more difficult for her to discern their character and their integrity. She sort of has definitely rose-colored glasses on. But now that's something interesting. Can a man do that? Can a man be physical but also disconnect from falling in love if this person's not right for you?
I would say so.
You can. Women, it's much
a little
more difficult
easier.
for women.
That's why the difference is, and that's why you can't say men and women can think evenly or even-handedly about any subject. There's a big difference.
What is that about? What's happening biologically?
That's our biology talking. We're thinking physically, we're thinking sexually, we're thinking of ownership, partnership, we're thinking of joining. And all those things can come together for a man. And sometimes there's a break in that continuity. Whenever that break occurs, that's usually when that person will give up or change his modality about how he thinks. He'll move that out of his life or into his life one way or another.
And you too, Gary, you could be clear intellectually and be sexual with a woman and not have that make you fall in love with the wrong woman?
No, I think you could definitely fall in love with the wrong one, but I think you could have a sexual relationship and and draw the line and say, I'm not letting myself get past a certain level of intimacy or chemistry. Yeah, I think so.
Well, most men can do that better than most women, as a generality.
Yeah, it's very true.
As a generality. If I could just be general about it, men have a much easier time with sex only or sex decided upon. Also, and the way to demonstrate that would be in affairs. Men tend to have more affairs than women. Men tend to find it easier to do. Although the levels are coming back up now, more women are having affairs than ever before, it's still never going to be 50-50. Men will always be at that higher plateau.
Right, and from what I've read with
so our choice is about, in other words, we can love our, I hate to say this because it's not me in this particular modality I'm in now, but if I was loving a wife and I had an affair, I could separate the sex. That's the thinking.
Not normally.
Women don't do that as well.
Usually when women get into an affair, they leave their marriage, and they are looking for the affair to leave their marriage. So it's very connected to mind, body, heart, and soul. So tell me, do you want a soulmate? Or what is it? What does that even mean to you?
Well, it's attached to the word chemistry, isn't it?
No, I think it's more spirit connected. And what does the spirituality, if any, play in your lives and your relationship? Because personally, I think that's why relationships are failing, because I don't think that people are spiritually connected.
You may be right, because in certain cultures...
I'm definitely right.
In certain cultures where they have all
Nobody can disprove it.
There's a blending in the culture that there's arranged marriages. Why do arranged marriages last longer than when you have a choice? Which is not a choice for, so it's opposite. Nobody knows really why some of those things are. They're culturally based and spiritually based.
I'll tell you why.
Those are spiritual and cultural.
Because it's about commitment. When you make a commitment that you're going to make this work, barring that both people are not psychopaths, narcissists, and all the other shows that we've done, psychopaths, et cetera, you're dealing with two garden variety neurotic people. Your average crazy person, not your psychopath, and they get into a relationship. It's about commitment, because you know what? Our feelings change. Our feelings, we're going to fall in love, we're not going to feel so loved, we're going to feel attracted, not attracted. The spiritual component that I put into a relationship is when two people have made the commitment to love each other unconditionally, no matter what. No matter what.
You didn't say how the spiritual part played into that. You said that sounded like a decision to me.
Yeah, Yeah, you have to make the decision
okay,
to do it.
The spiritual connection I didn't quite get, but you're referring to something that's...
well, for me, spirituality is God, and for some people it might be Buddhism. There is some part of your personality where you know that there is more that you see, feel, hear than you touch. Like, what's it all about, Alfie? Like, why are we really here? Is there an afterlife? Are we going to have eternal love, eternal life? And I think that when you have people that are really both on a mission for that, those people are going to be giving people. And if you get involved with someone who's a giver, you're going to get your needs met. I think
how that works. No, I think the spiritual aspect works because you're working towards something that's not tangible.
Right.
It's not tangible. It's not a light. It's not an elbow or teeth or smile or anything like that.
Right.
It's something that you can both work towards and build on, which that commitment can bring together a better relationship.
There's also, that's part of it. There's also, when you deal with spirituality, you would usually deal with a person with integrity. Not always. We have plenty of people that are, I'm not talking about religious, this is different than religious, but people that truly want to go on a journey of having good karma and reaping what they sow and really want to do the right thing. You're talking about a whole different way of living, like a heart transformation. Gary, did you want to?
Yeah, I don't know about the spiritual connection as much. People say, if you get married, I want to have a soulmate and stay together, and that's why I want to get married. But as we know, because all three of us here have been divorced, marriage doesn't necessarily mean that person's going to be there for the rest of your life. They can get divorced, you can get sick, say, the hell with that, I'm not staying with them. So, and I think a lot of, for me, I'll speak for myself, when you're in a failed relationship and you see the damage that it causes, I don't know if I want to get to that same level anymore. To me, I'm comfortable where I am. It works. I don't feel like I have to fit into that mold. My girlfriend, we have a good relationship, but we live separately. She has her friends, I have my friends, and then we have this connection because we have a lot of things in common, and we enjoy the time together. It's somebody to go out with, and if I'm sick, she'll come over to my house and help take care of me, and I would do the same for her. So I don't know if this spiritually means, or soulmate means I have to be with that person all the time anymore.
No, I don't think it means a matter of time. I think it means if you're going in both the direction with the same values.
Well, maybe going the same direction, but not going that direction, but being this far apart and going at it together. Maybe I think that's more what I'm like now, whereas traditionally you may say they go at it together, right next to each other. We both we both want to retire, be happy.
You know what I think of in a very layman term? Someone has your back. You know that you're covered. Right. Oftentimes in a relationship, the person you see is not the person you get. So you know that if you are...
It's okay to have difference of opinion, though.
Oh, yeah, but you can trust them. That's the word, trust.
Maybe that's what
you have a faith that this person is not going to change like the wind.
Right.
That they're not going to be influenced. If someone's talking badly about you, they're going to support you. Right. They're not going to have 2 or 3 faces like a narcissist does. They're one person one way, then another way. If you lose your money, you're not going to lose that person. That they care about you in the good, bad, and ugly. Yes? Yeah. It's not easy, and I don't even know. I think it's so rare. I don't know if most people do have that. When they have it, it's a huge miracle. It's like a miracle.
It's a transient state of relationships in general have this, especially today with the electronic industry importing itself so deeply into our lives. Everybody, who doesn't have a phone now that has a computer attached to it? Who's not looking at it all the time? Who's texting while they're driving?
Excess stimulation. Yeah.
If I had half a brain, I wouldn't text while I drive,
Exactly.
But I don't, so every now and then I text while I drive. I hate that I do it.
We disconnect. What's a perfect date for you, first date? What would that be like? Mm-hmm.
I like wine.
Lots of wine. Besides the wine, Chris, what's a perfect date?
You mean I have to have a woman in there?
Well, that's what I assume date would mean. Me and my wine.
Having a conversation over a glass of wine, the dinner, either one.
What else? Tell me about the woman.
Well, I can't, and then I have to get into the physical desires that I have. I'm not going down that
path. It is public access, Chris.
It may put up the ratings. Right. I can say anything I want to.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm attracted to a woman. I would take her out for a glass of wine and have a conversation. That's how a relationship.
No specific conversation.
Anything.
If she gets into all her problems on the first date, is that
I'd be panicked. No, yeah.
If they up front, she told you that she tried to kill herself on the way over.
Yeah, no.
Or she's trying to kill herself after the date.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, so there are, so Arthur, maybe, what would be a perfect date for you?
I think for me, it would be talking about the things that I like, which is, to me, family is very important, children are very important, and what the long-term goals are, and understanding their career and how they put it together. But of course, I wouldn't want to hear somebody talk about their divorce and all their problems.
Ex.
But I will say that when I started dating my girlfriend, I'm sure one of the things I did was talked about what was going on in my life, because I was going through.
Impactful,
yeah,
sure.
I was going through
So much.
I was, when I met her, I think my divorce had been 1.5 to 2 years in the making, and that had become my life.
Yeah.
So in fact, my girlfriend once said to me, because my divorce had been going on for almost 14 years, she said, "What are we going to talk about when your divorce is over?" I said, "Don't worry, it'll never be over." So, but
So you really you found a very supportive person to support you.
well, for me,
through all
and
of that.
that was maybe what attracted me, is that she
Yes.
was okay with listening, because honestly, I don't know if I would have the patience to
Right.
listen to somebody just talking constantly about all the divorce and the problems and the ex-wife and the children. So maybe that was one of the things subconsciously that attracted me to her, is that she was okay with listening and sticking with me, because that's a lot to stay through somebody.
That is.
who's
yeah.
going
so
through
this
this.
is someone who stays for the good, bad, and the ugly.
Right.
That's how it appears, and you've been together a long time.
Right.
Yeah. So without you even being coherent, you really made a good choice.
Right.
About a person, or maybe you just had great fate.
He had good luck.
I was going to
I was going to say that your fate
He had
really
good
worked
luck.
in your advantage.
No,
yeah.
I mean, because it would happen a different way with a different woman that may have even been better. I'm not saying that she's fine, but if God forbid something, he would not ever have that opportunity, because this woman was ready.
Right.
Yeah, and I think everybody's in the right frame of mind in their life, be in the right stage in their life, to want to deal with it. So.
Before we close, we only have a few minutes. Again, many people in my singles groups, most of the people happen to be women that come, I would say 70%. So what do you want to leave them with, looking, quickly, and then we need to wrap.
A quick response for me would be for them to be paying more attention, to be a part of a relationship with a man by being more physical, and I don't mean sexual, but I also mean sexual. See what I mean? Don't be afraid to put your arm around somebody. Don't be afraid to pat him on the back when he does something right. Give him the rewards, and also be more physical and sexual, because men tend to continue to biologically be in that mode.
Okay, Gary.
I would say lighten up. When I
Fun. We're supposed to have fun,
when
right?
I was dating, my girlfriend, she would say, if I want to get married, and I'd say I don't want to get married. We go back and forth, and she said, well, I don't want to waste my time. And I'd say, don't look at it like you're wasting your time. If we're having fun, to me, that's not a waste of time.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We're not. I could see if you're in an age where you have the biological clock, and you're in your 20s or 30s. Say, oh my God, I can't waste 10 years with this guy, because then I may not be able to have children anymore.
Right.
That I understand. But at this stage of my life, I'm not having kids. She doesn't want kids. Just enjoy life. And you know what? If we spend time and it doesn't work out, we had a good time. It didn't work out. Now let's go on and be happy. And you keep your house, and I'll keep mine.
Well, no Woody Allen relationship, 2 houses. I just want to thank my guests, and I want to thank you so much for being part of our journey. I hope that you were blessed, and that this would provide some food for thought. Thank you so much, and God bless everyone. Bye-bye.